Welcome to the HR department, your front row seat to conversations about the modern workplace and everything shaping the world of work. Powered by HR Kyle Services, your guide through the world of work. This podcast is hosted by Kyle Patrick Smith and Becki Smith, two passionate voices bringing decades of experience, real-world insight, and a no-nonsense approach to the issues that matter most to employees, leaders, and HR pros alike. From hiring and culture to leadership and layoffs, nothing's off the table. So clock in, tune up, and get ready. The HR department starts now.
Welcome to the HR department, and I am Becki. This is Kyle. Today's topic is on DEI. We are going to focus where we believe that it has gone wrong and how to adjust going forward. So we're going to start with Kyle, kind of his thoughts, and just have a conversation about it at this point.
Yep.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Becki, thank you very much. Before we dive into that, let's not forget that we have Bluefish, who is also part of everything we do here, up to and including the podcast. He is diligently paying attention. He'll not have much to add, but he's certainly here with us. So again, today's topic is DEI, and whenever I think of DEI, I always like to include that B on it as well, and that's belonging. But the topic has really become a hot item in not only the business world, but just in our world in general. And it's probably for all the wrong reasons. And I think we've been leading up to this for a while, and you and I have talked about this, where I've been concerned about the direction of DEI for quite a while now, is I saw it focusing only on certain groups, a very limited group, and I saw it only focusing on certain roles in certain industries. And it left out all of these other people and these industries and these opportunities and these jobs and so on. And we did ourselves a disservice there. There are so many people in this world who need a little bit of extra help to be sure that they're relevant in the job market. And it's not just out of one person's color of skin or one gender in leadership level roles and only certain functions such as engineering and sciences, for example. There's all of these other people and groups and opportunities that got completely left out from where DEI was headed.
And I take with personally, I've worked with the part of ageism. And,
Right.
I don't have any qualms with saying I'm 65 years old. And I have seen all of that in places, especially that belonging part, which isn't even added on there. I felt as if I didn't belong. I was treated that way in some areas. Diverse, so many people anymore are against hiring people because they have 25 years of experience,
Right.
which says they're old. The equity part, being equal for all of us to be working. I want to work till I'm 75 years old. So whatever that role, and I mean, obviously it's here, but whatever that role would be, I want to work another 10 years. And I have that in me still.
Well, exactly. And in your case, don't learn your age and say, well, Becki's probably only going to work till she's 67, so 2 more years. That's the big insult. That's right. That's the same as looking at someone and saying some other assumption about them for how they look. It's the same way with age.
Right.
And we know for a fact this is happening. I used the example earlier with a client. We had 2 clients that are almost identical in their backgrounds and experience. The only real difference, if I'm looking at them as a hiring manager and HR person, is one's in his 40s and one's in his 50s. Well, guess who got a job in a pretty timely manner, and guess who's still looking? It's the over 50 person. And quite honestly, their backgrounds are nearly identical. If we took the ages off and the dates and all that, you would think they were identical. But we know our older candidate is struggling because of his age, and I'm just going to say that, and if you want to disagree, that's fine. We work with these people every day. We put them through our process. We interview them. We know how they perform within these circles, and if they're not getting job offers, we can say with a high level of certainty that it's probably because of their age. Just like when we meet with other candidates and we can say with a high level of certainty that they're not getting a job because of their race or their background or their culture or whatever. Exactly. It's the same thing. Yep. I can sit here and we could talk for a long period of time to break that down, but I think if you know, you know. And that's what we're running into. So, but getting back to your point, ageism is a big one. DEI movements, from by and large, let's be clear, by and large, did not consider including people over the age of 50, but they are absolutely impacted by that, right?
Right.
Another group that we focus on a lot is, and I'll call them second chance, right? We focus on helping people with a second chance. What that means is they've been incarcerated or they've had some other major disruption in their lives to where they were out of the job workforce for some period of time, and now they're looking to re-enter. And again, we can say that it's people that have been incarcerated, but this could be a woman who's had a child and has chosen to raise that child up until they start school. They're 5 years old. So she's been out of the job market now a little bit over 5 years. She's dealing with the same challenges that people are looking at and saying, oh, you've got this gap. That must be bad.
Yeah. And I have seen that on resumes, that women are coming to the point now where they're saying that it has been, they will show on their resume that I raised my children during this time. So instead of having that gap now, they're feeling the need to explain what that gap was about.
And what's sad is even when they do, again, we know this, people look at that and say, oh, you just took off. You were just raising a child. Not at all considering everything that was involved in that. Also not considering, and I had a candidate say this example this morning, I think it's a pretty good one. Once I've ridden a bike, even if it's been 5 years, am I going to be a little bit clumsy the first time I get back on one? Yeah. Exactly. But guess what? In short order, I'm going to be very good at riding the bike again. I think it's the same holds true with careers. But here again, here's a fraction of our workforce, in this case, women who've had children, that now they're not covered under DEI, but they sure as heck should be.
Sure, exactly.
They absolutely should be.
Sure.
Disabled. We talk a lot about individuals with different disabilities, whether those are visual or not visual. And you and I have had some good examples of this, to where we know, and I don't know if you want to tell the story or you want me to, but remember the one gentleman, young man.
Yep.
And you want to tell that story?
Yeah, I was working with a young man who had some disabilities, and it was more on the verbal side, the social side. But we worked with him with how to interview, how to talk. His first interview did not go well, so we retrained. We went through again. He was able to get a job. He had his coach go with him, and he actually, at some point after a day or two, told the coach she didn't need to be there anymore. And he is thriving, and that's been 7 or 8 months. He's thriving. So we have to include not only to hire somebody with a disability,
thank you,
but what is the right fit for them?
Exactly.
Don't assume that they can't do. This young man is working on a factory line. So don't assume that they can't do other things.
Well, and if I remember him in school, wasn't he one? What was his, when he graduated, what was his graduation level or whatever you want to call it?
He was 9th or 10th in his class.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is a very smart kid. Socially, a little awkward. You can put whatever terms you want around it. I don't want to get caught up in terms and all that. But to put it another way, he wasn't going to interview well. He would never interview well. But guess what? When you hire him, he shows up every day. He's a good teammate. He works well with others. He's spot on with his work. I've got another example along that same line. Young man that we hired in a company I was working for a few years ago. Again, he was on the spectrum. We'll just say that. His mother actually had to come to his interview, and we mainly spoke with her. Well, this young man, as soon as we hired him in short order, again, great employee, always showed up on time, easy to train, got along with people, to the point that there was almost a tug of war within operations as to who he would work for because he was such a good employee and just picked up things so quick and everything. Did he interview well? Heck no. He didn't. If we'd have gone on the interview, he never would have gotten a job. We've since met his brother, in fact, if you think about the young man. And again, his brother has some challenges as well. But that's one of the best hires that I can point to in the last 3 years, because this kid did what he was supposed to do. He's a good performer, showed up every day, worked well with everybody. All the things that we talk about when we talk about hiring. Again, he wouldn't have been considered for a lot of jobs because he didn't fit that template that we're looking for. But thank goodness to I guess in both of these cases, our focus on saying, let's really just find the best candidate here. And we're going to have to widen the pool a little bit to maybe look at people that aren't typically going to get looked at per se.
Exactly.
And I know you've got some other examples.
And going back to DEIB, which we were talking about, to go outside of that box of what you think you're looking for, because it could be somebody of a different color, of a different, maybe it's a male-dominated area, but with this female interviewed amazingly, and her qualifications are great, and going that direction, and where is that person going to be a good fit in our company?
Right.
Could help as well.
Yeah. Well, and we've both of us have mentioned that letter B for the belonging. The key is, though, when you bring these individuals in who aren't the stereotypical of what you've had, they must feel like they belong. Is that going to require a little bit more effort? Maybe that requires some more teaching and coaching? Absolutely. Becki, I know you've got another example, if you don't mind me picking on you, when you were saying about the assembly line and the female. You have a story to tell on that, when a female got some bizarre feedback.
Oh, this she went to the interview and was told that because she was female, they didn't even say that they didn't think she could lift 200 pounds. They just told her that she couldn't lift 200 pounds, not even knowing that the young lady, worked out. She easily could lift 200 pounds. So
she was probably more fit than most of the people that worked on that line.
Exactly.
Yeah, and plus she was tough. I mean, it wasn't like she was delicate and all that. She's a tough girl. Yeah. She could hold her own. But again, here's another assumption. And again, now we're talking about gender. Yeah. And we've had the gender situations, but here's where we didn't focus on gender. I think every one of us can admit that nursing, that's a great profession to get into, right? Look at the stats on how many male nurses there are. Small number. At no point, and please, if anybody's listening here, correct me if I'm wrong, at no point did I see any initiatives, although there's a raging nursing shortage. There is a raging nursing shortage. At no point did I see anybody under that DEI umbrella say, whoa, let's go get more men in nursing. No, never once. But I saw plenty about getting more women in engineering, which is great. Yes, that's another field where there's a shortage, but never any male nurses. Another area where they're struggling. Education. How many primary school education, how many teachers are male? Right. And then even when you go up to middle school and above, the numbers are small.
And again, like you said, again, it's not that they're only looking for women. Right. They are on the search for quality candidates coming out of college or transferring to another school district. Right. We only would hope that there would be some men in there too.
But the DEI initiatives that we're all familiar with did nothing about getting more men in teaching, getting more men in nursing. I'll give you another one. We've got a mental health crisis in this country. If you disagree with me, gosh, tune out now, because you need to do some studying. We've got a mental health crisis in this country. The percentage of males that are encouraged to go into mental health professions, counseling, whatever you want to call it, whatever those fields are, very small. I'm familiar with the program, very familiar with one. Kent State University, I'm just going to call it out. 10% of their students are male. We are struggling with mental health issues in this country. We need representation, as everyone always talks about, across all gender and all races. There's been no effort, to my knowledge, to increase recruitment of males into any of those professions.
Well, and going along those lines, it's, I think of folks that are Black, maybe more comfortable going to a Black counselor.
Absolutely, yes.
But men are probably more comfortable going to a male counselor.
Yes.
But again, no promotion of that.
No mention of it.
Nope.
It's a concern. We've got a shortage of professionals in this area, but yet under the DEI umbrella, no one has made any noticeable efforts to lead an initiative that says we're going to require more men. Same way with education, same way with everything else. There's a shortage of teachers. We're struggling, but not one person.
So my thoughts are, and I'm going to ask you this question. So when it comes to DEIB and hiring, the company, schools, healthcare, whatever it might be, probably need to market more specific, not recruit, but market more towards the diverse community, whatever
that means for their area, right?
So how would you suggest that a company doesn't go by what was happening with DEI, that, only black candidates, only males, only females.
Right.
I mean, I personally worked in a school district where the superintendent told us he was going to recruit and hire teachers that looked like our students. And in his case, he meant black students.
Right.
It did not work. So, so from an HR perspective, with DEI and companies looking to hire to do a true diverse, equitable inclusion, belonging, how do they get that word out that that's who we're hiring? But we also want the best candidates.
Yeah, you meet people where they are. And I'm going to speak from personal experience. I've been in HR. I know I say that all the time. Maybe you get tired of hearing it, but I'm probably going to keep saying it because I think it's such a differentiator for us as a company. It blows my mind. I've been head of HR, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. I contacted those agencies. I talked to those agencies, whether it was disabilities or it was agencies that were focused on a particular population based upon age, race, color, all of those things. And I got out there and I connected with them and I tried to educate them on us as a company and what we have to offer and all the benefits of working with us. And you know what they did? They educated me on their populations and who they work with and what they're looking for and so on. So it became this exchange of information, but it became a matter of us selling who we are as a company and saying, this is a great place to work, no matter who you are, no matter what you're looking at. So HR, you got to get out of your office.
Yes.
You got to go out and connect with these groups and make connections and build long-term relationships. And here's something I say all the time, and I'm never going to stop saying it. Your work in HR, talent acquisition, whatever, it's not transactional. Please do not think you're going to go down to the Akron Urban League, one meeting, and now all of a sudden you're going to have candidates that are black and brown.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
But over time, if you demonstrate that those are people that you would love to have part of your organization, that they're going to feel like they belong, they're going to feel like they're part of something, they're going to feel like they're appreciated, guess what? Over a period of time, you will have a dilemma. Because you will have so many candidates that you no longer need to post your jobs. They're going to be seeking you out. They're going to want to work there. They're going to tell their friends. And that's how this works. I got a whole book I wrote about this. And again, not pitching a book here, but I want to speak to it. Recruiting can be very easy. It's not about posting a job, see who applies, and screening through the candidates. If you're still doing that in 2025, you're roughly probably about 50, 60 years behind the 8 ball. Okay? In this day and age, with social media and social networking and all this, your work should be focused on networking, making contacts with people so they're reaching out to you and say, God, do you ever have an opening? I'd love to work there. And that's what you do with these different groups. If you're struggling to find talent, get out of your office and go and volunteer at these different organizations that we're familiar with, that we've been a part of, and see what they're about and see who they have to offer to you. There's plenty of people out there who would love to have a good job working at a good company, but they don't know how to make that connection. So that's up to you to reach out and talk to them. So I'm going to get off my soapbox here.
So what's going to happen is you are naturally going to have diversity in your company. You're going to be getting those people that you have connected with.
Right.
They know what you're looking for, what you want. Obviously, you want qualified people, and they're going to send those people to you, or those people will come on their own because they know
they've heard the rumors that we're a great place to work.
Naturally, going to have diversity.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Yep.
If you spread yourself out over any area, if you're doing it correctly, your population of your workforce over time will mirror exactly where you are.
Yep,
it's that simple. Just like everything else in nature. It works that way. We'll walk around our yards sometimes like, wow, where did this plant come from? Or where did this come from? Because it's had an opportunity to come there, plant its seed, and grow.
Yeah. That's a fantastic analogy and ending point for us. So, but thank you again for joining us at HR Department. And again, Kyle, Becki, and we'll be here weekly. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the HR Department, powered by HR Kyle Services, your trusted partner for HR consulting, outplacement, talent strategy, leadership development, and career coaching. If today's conversation got you thinking, we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with anyone navigating the ever-changing world of work. To learn more about our services, whether you're a company leader, an HR pro, or a job seeker, visit hrkyle.com. Until next time, keep leading with purpose, hiring with intention, and showing up for your people.